Uh, I was the sound operator of my church, and, 20 years ago, I arrived in church, and my church has not a drummer. We are searching for a drummer, and everybody knows without a drums, we don't have a life in music. And I was sad and at that night, and I tried to I myself to make me discover new things because this is very exciting for me. And during the intro of the first song at that night at the service on church, I get up and go to the drum set and start to play immediately. I never sit in a drum set before, and I play four songs. And people was like, what happened? Why you did it before? We are searching for a drummer, and you are a drummer. I say, oh, I'm not a drummer. It's my first time right here. It's totally spiritual experience, and of course I have a background of from musicians, but I never tried until that time, and I started playing, and people say I play well, probably not, but I played, and I start to study. I decided to study drums to make it properly.
So, exact precisely 20 years ago today, you went to your church service. For some reason, you wanted to transform your mood because you had a sad day that day. That's how you pick up the drumstick for the first time ever. And surprisingly, somehow, you seem to have a natural talent in playing it. Um, and you continued learning about drum music, and including making your own drum set. But you also shared with me when we were doing rehearsal something very special about the way you learn. You never had a teacher. You taught yourself through reading encyclopedia, history of music. Why is that?
So 20 years ago, internet was not popular in Brazil, and we usually search for things and encyclopedia. And I went to my grandma's house and asked her for music and encyclopedia. If you don't know, you search for a word and you follow this word for different volumes or different books until you find what you're searching for. And I put music, and my grandma gave me the music session, and I start to read. But for me, it's totally chaotic knowledge because I start to read the history of musical notation. Totally, it's not about drums but I was still reading that, and I learned how the musical notation was created, the names of musical notes changing throughout this history. And when I accessed the internet for the first time, I found a drum book, a drum method from a drummer called Gene Krupa, and there has musical notation, and I could read and understand that exercises. And so I started to study this, and when I uh, perform or play in church, people was impressed how I I can I could play any music, and I say it's right here, and I discovered at that time the drummers does not use scores to play music. They use the memory, and it makes difference in my drums career. And now I can play in orchestra or any band without research rehearsal, for example, just reading, and it makes a lot of difference.
So it does seem like your way of picking up drum is different from most of other drummers who use their memories. You did a thorough research. You started from history of music to the ability to read music connotation. That make you quite special. What would you say it's because of your unique philosophy in life and learning that made you always use such a unique learning approach?
So, and we have this, in our culture, I'd say our because Saudi is here, we have a quote called jeitinho brasileiro. Jeitinho brasileiro means uh, the way that Brazilians do things using creativity with low sources, improvisation. All this is a part or deep part of our culture. And without source, we start to improvise or we start to use creativity. For example, I built this drum set using, let me show, using this, it's a pipe. I
Yes.
put it in, I cut it in the middle and I put it on over and I build the symbols. And the, of course, the shells of drums. And I use this also, channels for people have children, to turn the volume low. So I use creativity for, and I built this drum kit, and you can hear this drum kit now. I am like this way because I'm Brazilian, but I'm very curious about everything. And when it's something is exciting for me, I start to search and try to build. Um, so this part of my life, and philosophy entered in my life because of this also. Uh, I'm curious about the questions of humanity and not the practical things, not only the practical things, but the questions of humanity. And I come from a Christian family. I have a Christian background. My uncles, my grandpa are pastors, but and it makes sense to study a little about philosophy, but I choose to go deeper and become not a pastor, but I become a theology professor.
So last question, philosophy question. Why do you think Brazilian football is so good? Is it because of
Actually,
the
actually, there's no reason because when you're a kid in Brazil and we will play football, if you are good, the coach says, go there and shine. Just that's it. And we don't have a plane. We don't have a technical stuff. The each Brazilian football player has have a good talent. It's a chosen one for their position. And when we put it together, it works. Our football team is a totally chaos, a chaotic team. If you see the German playing the Spanish team, they are organized, but we cannot organize that in that way. It's unbelievable for us. This is also part of Brazilian culture because we know how to improvise. We know how to give a fast response when the crisis appear, or we always um, winning the, uh, the difficulties because the life of people right here is it's hard, and people since childhood knows or learn or have to learn how to break barriers and improve yourself. This is why our team is not an example of football team, but we are the best.
I love that all the creative individuals form a star team, which is not as organized as other football teams, but still you got a few championship taking them
We
back.
are jealous for other team.
So thank you so much, Maximino, for having a conversation with me. So we get to know a little bit about you before you start to show us history of drum set. So now the floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me start to share screen. Just a moment.
So Max is going to share his screen to share with us his slides.
So where's my slide? Open it. I have to open for other file. Small. Okay. Oh, everybody can see it.
Yes.
Okay. We will talk about the history of drum set. Not the history of drum in general, but the history of this modern drum set. And these instruments change the history of music, change our values, changing our sense of moral. If we can go to deep into the society changes. So this is the name of parts of drum. We have the big one in the center, a bass drum, because it's the bass, deep sound, floor tom, because the drum is in four, and this photo has no sense because the floor tone has a floor stand fixed in the floor, and this photo doesn't show. But we have the tom tones. We have the snare drum in the center with the most important part of drums, uh, beside the drum throne, of course. And we have the hi-hat cymbal, the two cymbals hitting against each other. We have crash cymbal and ride cymbal. This is the pattern we have. If you go to a drum shop, you will buy this piece. You can put more piece so take off, but this is the pattern. Oh, our drums percussion. We also have the name percussion. Percussion is the group of instruments we call membranophonics instrument because we use a membrane, a skin. This is the first, not the first, but the ancient drum discovered by humanity in China, made by clay and alligator skin. Very interesting. And but most interesting, the concept is the same. We have a skin, we have a body, we call shell, and we have these wires to tune. It's amazing how the 5,000 before Christ they had the sense of tuning drums, because drums are used for communication and for God's celebration. And when you use a specific tune, you can call a specific divine, or give a specific message. So this, since beginning, the humans tune the drums. It's amazing. So in the right side, we have Neil Peart. Neil Peart unfortunately died this year. He is a legendary drummer for a legendary band, Rush. And this is his kit for the Brazil tour. And his kit is the most modern drum kit we have. Neil Peart was our paradigm for everything. He is ahead of his time, and we have in his kit traditional and technology mixed with uh, a lot of techniques. His drumming is amazingly complex. He is a master, and I recommend you read his books. He write 3 books. If you search for Neil Peart, has amazing histories, and also Neil Peart is a philosopher. So this is our first quiz. We will play partner, and I hope you can recognize it. So I will do my best. This is very common, and I hope you can recognize. If you know the answer, please put in the chat box. One more time.
20th Century Fox.
Yes.
Well done. Well done, Joanna.
This is pretty easy. We will have more. So this is very interesting because the Z letter, we have R and L, the right and left, and Z makes the right become 2 or 3 notes. You don't hit 1 note. You hit 2 or 3 with 1 hand. And the left do the same and makes the sense of fanfare. And we have 2 repetitions. I will try with 1 hand. And the third bar, we have this repetition until the final hit. Classic. So let's continue. Drum set. Born in New Orleans, and it has a reason. New Orleans are in the south of USA, and there in that city received immigrants from different parts of the world. We have the Native Americans, the Europeans living there, Italians, Spanish. Louisiana also received the Haiti, and the Haitians lived there. New Orleans has a deep cultural presence of Creole culture from Haiti, and of course the center of America. And New Orleans has also Japanese, Chinese people. all those cultures living in the same city. And of course, it will make difference for of course, I forgot the slaves from Africa also live it there. And this mixing makes New Orleans special, and their drums born. So in United States, a lot of city in United States has brass bands. This is a legacy from civil wars and the military culture uh, have musicians, and they when the war finished, they still playing the instruments in parades. It was very common holiday parade in a lot of cities in United States. We have here a newspaper um, about Chinese New Year in New Orleans in 19 January 31, and the presence of Creole culture. Creole culture is special because they are not white people. They are black but not African. They are mixed and they are free, different from the African slaves. But the people in that city mix it, and this family is amazing. This photo, because you can identify different uh, influences from people all over the world. And New Orleans, I love this because it's so similar with Brazil, how we are mixed. So we have native brass bands, Native American brass bands. The Chinese New Year, I put it because uh, in New Orleans has a big New Year, Chinese New Year with the Dance of Lion, Dance of Dragon. They playing drums and flutes. And Creole culture also has the celebrations using their drums also. So this jazz funeral, this guy jumping is going to a funeral, believe it or not. It makes me remember this guy. This the same celebration become actually a meme. People dancing, going to a funeral, but this guy's going a funeral. We call jazz funeral, where that brass band uh, performance during. It's like the jazz funeral is a parade until the until the celebration of uh, they celebrate the life of that guy um, that people. And when you died in their culture, you across a river and go to the paradise, and um, as, it's a reason to celebrate. And we have also a second line. This is very important for the history of drum set. What is second line? We have the first line is the parade with brass band. Everyone is organized and playing music like rehearsal. But behind the first line, we have the second line. Second line was the community, because when at this time has not internet, has not Netflix, has not exploring cultural world. This era, if have a parade in the city stops, and the those people from second line who uh, dance and following the music was not part of the first line, because first line it probably was sponsored by a club, by a church, or a company. But second line is like we call in Brazil pipoca, because in Carnival we have to pay to enter in a party in the street. But around this party we have people dancing with the music, enjoying the same show, but with distance. This is the second line where the community, Africans, Chinese, and Europeans, all together dancing, following the first line music. And inside the second line, they use also instruments. This is fantastic because the pattern of first line become a backing track for the celebration and second line. I will give you an example. The first line was more straight rhythmically, and it's something like this. So this is the first line. The second line was still being improvisation inside this pattern. I will do the pattern with the black uh, drumstick, and the second line with the right one. So it make more rich, more swing, has more feel. The second line, of course, was more happy than the first line. And the second line drummers, when the parade finished, they got to a club and did the after party indoor. It's different for nowadays. When the party finished, we go out, but they go to indoor, a bar or a club, and start to play the pattern, following the pattern from the first line, and it uh, makes appear a jazz band. Of course, the first line playing jazz music, but we have a jazz band like this one. This is the first guy who put the drum bass and the snare drum and play it together. His name is Baby Dudes. He's this band is called Oliver King's Jazz Creole Music Band, and Baby Dudes is loud. If I can compare, this is our Socrates for drum community. And this guy Stan is Louis Armstrong, who sings "What a Wonderful World," and at piano his wife. This is an amazing band. This is the drum set of Baby Dudes. If you can, you can see here, has not a drum pedal like I'm showing here. One of my cameras. The drum bass pedal was not invented until that time, and the snare drum stand has not been invented. They put the snare drum in a chair and sit in luggage. This best worst idea, because when you are when you are a musician, you need audience. You have to play for someone, and at that time, when you have until now, of course, when you have more audience, you have more people paying for the beer at bar, spend morning eating in the bar, and at final of the show, you receive more money. But it's a worse idea because before uh, uh, the, the indoor presentation, we had two or three guys playing the instruments, and inside a club you put one, just one, playing all those instruments, and this is a worse idea because less people, and so, but it makes possible the drum set born. uh, this is the drum pedal, the first drum pedal in left side. And this second one's Ludwig pedal, 1910. Ludwig made the first drum pedal in 1904, but this one is we use until nowadays. It's the same concept. It was amazing idea, and it makes make the drummers uh, play sitting in front of drums, and don't kick like you kick a ball, but you start to play the bass drum with appropriate pedal. So one more quiz. I will do my best. This is also easy, but it's for people who enjoy the rock and roll era.
So people who know the answer, type it in the chat box if you know what's this music. I'm giving up.
Yeah, can you play again? Can you play again? It's difficult. That's difficult.
Yes, yes.
Come Together Beatles.
Yeah, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I recognize that was rock, but I said, well, this is rock and roll, but I couldn't recognize.
Whoever gets it right, get a live ticket to the live concert of Maximino in the future in Brazil.
So I call the invention of drum pedal and the indoor music the Copernicus turn of music. We have jazz, we have the recording music. Recording music start to be possible, and the invention of drum set with drum pedals and with drum bass pedals. Music was for celebration, for a funeral, for people dance. Music was made for this and become made music just for music. They start to rehearsal just to improve their techniques, to show the others how I can play fast or can play well, or how or which rhythm I can reach with this technique. And so music for music starts, and this is a Copernican turn of music, because the musicians start to be more competitive in a good way, to show how the techniques can sound in different ways ethnically. So, and we because of this, we drummers start to put more drums, and why not? I put a quote, New Orleans drum set is a multi-ethnic instrument. New Orleans has the influences from different cultures, and drum set born in this way. We have the black one, it's a Japanese taiko, Japanese drum, traditional drum. We have the red ones, Chinese drums used for Chinese celebrations, special New Year's. And the skin of Chinese drums has the image of phoenix and the lion and dragon. Have a triangle, probably a legacy from the European orchestra. The bass drum of American bass drum. We have a little symbol in the bass drum. We call it low boy, and it become today we call it a hi-hat. It's not there anymore. It's used in the left side of the drummer, a drum kit. We have the snare. The snare is very interesting because snare drum, a drum with wires, born in Arabia and also Iran, and come to and arrived in America. And the left side we have two drums. They are timbales or timbalitos. It is from Latin America, probably from Cuba. This piece, this instrument is the portrait is it's how you understand a mixed society. Only a mixed society could build an instrument like this. And of course, drums become more and more popular because everybody like drums, love drums because the drums reach the different cultures. And this is my drum kit. This I take this photo in my church. It's a big church. Unfortunately, it's closed because of this pandemic. I miss a lot to play this drum set. But with technology, I put all the tunes, sounds, ethnical nuances in my drum kit. I don't need to buy a Chinese taiko. I can tune my drum set as a Japanese drum, for example, and choose different symbols from different nations. And in my drum kit, I have 12 nations represented, and it comes from my research about the history of drums, about New Orleans. And I put a quote: if democracy or globalization once existed, they will be forever represented, the drum set. And we have in the center, Arabia, Iran, two drums in the center from Latin America, put the Latin American map there, the India, Turkish cymbals, Brazilian percussions, Japanese. We have the right side, Morocco representing the north of Africa drums, and Congo, the big one at the right side, representing the center of Africa, Chinese and Japanese traditional symbols. We have a congas and extremely right. So I have all these influences I received from my research, and it makes my drumming more comfortable, and make more sense for me to use each drum in particularly, because in all those nations have deep culture involving those drums. We have specific technical techniques to play each drum in different cultures, and I researched it to make more and more to make my drumming more and more ethnical, more and more original, like where the drums come from. And drums become a commercial success. It's strange because it's 1924 during the recession, during the economical crisis, and drums, they are selling drums. The Ludwig company, Singerland company, Zildjian Cymbals company is still selling drums, even during crisis. And the drums, this called in the center, this publicity in the center life of the party is curious because during the crisis, people need more entertainment. And if you will do a party inside your house, you need a drum set to make your party more, make people dance. It's like today you need a DJ to play your party, and at that time you need a drum set. And this is some publicity. The publicity of left side drums accessories catalog M. We have a primitive drummer that they try to represent, and a guy holding the ultimate drums at that time. We have the guy dressing white suit is Gene Krupa. Gene Krupa become the boy of publicity. Gene Krupa is the first drum hero, the first drummer who played at Hollywood as a Hollywood actor. This is the meaning of a lot of boys have desire to be a drummer. And we have this photo. It's a unique photo for a drummer as a rock star, and I put Plato and Aristotle because both guys has the same contribution or same importance that Plato and Aristotle for the philosophy. They for the drummers community, Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich are the Plato and Aristotle. Gene Krupa was the first one, as I mentioned at the beginning, who wrote a drum method. And like Plato, because in history of philosophy, Socrates did not write anything, and everything we know about Socrates is from Plato writing. And Gene Krupa wrote the technique he learned with Baby Doos when the guy I showed and photo before. And Bud Rich is unanimity in drummers community. He is the best drummer for all time. Nobody can reach his perfection. He's a absolutely ridiculous drummer. If you put Bud Rich, you see the limit of human drumming. After Bud Rich, to overtake Bud Reed, you need a machine. This guy's insane. One time I tried to rehearse a drum piece of Bud Reed. When I put Bud Reed playing in my ears, I could not deal. My arm stopped. How can a human do this? Because I feel a lot of pressure. I feel a lot of precision. It's insane. So those guys are amazing. And this is the first drum solo ever recorded by Gene Krupa. The song is Sing 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 by Benny Goodman Man. And probably you will recognize it. It's very famous. This is
I see you moving.
Sing 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 was the first drum solo recorded. Until 1940s, drum set has not a microphone. When they recording an album, the producers did not put a microphone for the drums because the drums is loud, but Gene Krupa started to put microphone. And if we have a drum solo, if the drummers has big importance, thanks Gene Krupa. So, and we start to speaking even louder. Until 50s, the drum set was made by wood shell using the animal skin. But from the 50s, we start to make by acrylic and using plastic to use as skins, and the drums skin, and it make drums more louder, because at that time the electric guitar and bass guitar start to speak louder also to winning from the drums noise, and the drums become more louder. This is the drum kit of the legendary drummer John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. It's amazing drum kit. It's become a pattern, a rock drummer pattern drum kit. And we start to reach the rock and roll. We have Elvis Presley enjoying drums. Thank God he does not he did not become a drummer, become a singer and dancer, but he also played a drums at his youth. We have Ringo Starr, the Beatles, and we have Led Zeppelin, John Bonham. I will play three short songs, to show the evolution of techniques and how the music was changing in this era. This is an amazing era for music. We can spend hours and hours talking about this 10 years. Short version. So I played the first one. It's like it has had influence by jazz. It's a little jazzy, but more has more heavy instruments. The second one is like a twisted twist. It's twisted by was influenced by rock. It's like a Elvis Presley era, and the last one has the electric guitar, showing how the evolution of drum set and reach makes possible different rhythms and different characteristics. Uh, I, I I don't need to mention how the rock and roll and the rock and roll era changed the minds, changed or follow new or follow new influence and build new aesthetics for the society. Rock and roll is an amazing revolution. And we reached the electronic era. This is the fantastic Simmons electronic drums. The technology I used right here is from Simmons. I'm a fan of this technology. And this is a famous because the technology start to follow the, the world, the Cold War, the Star Wars, and the United States and Soviet is reaching the space, and this aestheticals comes from what goes to music, and we start to use electronic drums with no drums aspects. The Simmons drums is fantastic because it's hexagonal aestheticals in using different layering for to make drums sounds like you are in the space, and the music also changes. Other era we can talk hours and hours. So we have here a photo. I'm playing a total electronic drum kit and a totally acoustic drum kit. I'm showing it because during the 2010, the drums community split in two, the electronic ones and acoustic ones. And I started to build this drum around 2010 to make acoustic kit, sound electronic kit, just for live streaming or meetings like this. I could not I could not never I could not even imagine it. I will talk about the drum set history at that time, but I was building this future now. It's amazing for me to talking with you using my drum kit that I built for technology I even imagining who could be uh, who could be existence. And so I'm very happy because of this. Oh, sorry. And I will play one more song to show to show the Simon's electronic era. And but before the electronic, I will play the a song like a James Brown sound. James Brown is a other hours and hours of talking, but the drummer of James Brown band, Clyde Stubblefield, is the most copied drummer of all time. If you hear Beyonce, Jay-Z, or any hip hop influenced artist, you are hearing the drum grooves from Clyde Stubblefield. And the electronic era played the same drum patterns that James Brown band, but with different layers, different effects. I will show you. Now, electronic era.
Oh, this is not human. That's not human.
So I love this kind. This technique I use it with crossing the hands is this technique I call the Dance of Shiva. I developed this technique studying the image of Shiva, the Indian god, who is represented with 4 arms, and one of his arms, Shiva is holding a drum. He used drums to build new words, and I can talk more about Shiva one day, but it inspired me to because when the drummers play, they cross. If you are right-handed, you cross the hand like this. But when I'm playing electronic, to try to simulate the samples, I have to use the open-handed and use 2 leader hands like this, and also make the back hands, the back beat possible, and it's like a multiplication of arms like this. I will do the simple one, the conventional one, and after using the Dance of Shiva.
Wow.
And it makes sense because when a DJ or drum producer put it in a computer, it's just a click of a mouse. But if you can be able to play it live, you need more improvisation. So finishing my presentation, I will show you. I want to show you this is the brand new Roland drum kit. They call Roland TD50 Acoustic Design Virtual Kit. It's an amazing drum kit. If you want to buy, you have to spend almost $10,000. It's like a price of car, a good car. But this virtual drums is incredible. It's near to the magic because when you the virtual drums can recognize which drum kit you're using, if you are tall or if you are fat, or if you scratch the drum skin, drum heads, the virtual computer will sound like scratching. If you hit the cymbal and put your hand on the cymbal after hitting, they stop the sound like a metal, not like a normal cymbal. It's totally insane. I don't know where come from this technology, probably from Mars, but this is our most modern and more technological drums. And I am very surprised because a lot of intentions of Roland company are right here in my drum kit. Because when I started to build this drum kit in 2010, my intention was the same of Roland engineers. And thank God I had not to spend $10,000. I could build with pipes and some rubber things. But Roland, this kit is amazing. I played at the last drums community conference, and so I'm very impressed. And I'm more impressed because one day it becomes popular, and what the future I don't know. I can even imagine. But this is how we improving the drum set and how the music was changing with these improvements. So thank you for your patience. Thanks to be my first international audience. This is my first international show. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Maximino. I'm just gonna stop the screen sharing. This is wonderful, the depth and the breadth of your knowledge and demonstration of your DIY drum set. It's absolutely fascinating. We got a couple of questions from the audience, and I'm sure people in the group want to make comments as well. So one question from Jinda in the US is, can drums be played in a concert?
Yes. These drums are other drum kits, because in concert, well, when you mean when you say concert, what do you mean? That it's a big audience like stadium?
So don't know if Jing Dai is there to answer the
No,
question. Anybody else
no.
want to?
Drums can be played. My drums or any drums can be played everywhere, everywhere. But no matter the circumstances or space or audiences, the drums. Uh, it's not about only sound. It's about aestheticals also. If you go heavy metal concert, you wait to see big drums, a big with three bass drums, four bass drums, with drummer uh, hitting hard. And this is the part of of show. The drums, the bass drum head has the name of the band. Everything's is connected in this in different occasions. And when I play at church, I have a protocol to follow. When I play for the civil audience in Rio de Janeiro, when I play samba, I have a protocol. I have a specific drum kit to mount and play. But you can play heavy metal with any drum, and you can play samba with any drum kit.
Uh, anyone want to ask questions? Just grab the opportunity because Wilma, you need to unmute yourself. Wilma, I see you speaking, but is it working? Can you try again? We can't hear you for some reason. Maybe the audio output isn't working properly. Would you like to type in the chat box, Wilma? No, yeah, try again.
It's probably a setting in the computer.
Still no.
Wilmer, it's real nice to watch you talking, but we can't hear a thing.
It was very nice to watch though. So Wilma, would you like to type in the chat box? Otherwise, we need to read your lips. So while we are waiting for Wilma to type, anybody else who Stanley, good to see you. Have you got questions for Maximino?
I don't know. I don't really have any questions that much.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have any questions. Yeah.
But this is a fantastic session. We all agree. So we are still waiting for Wilma to either fix the audio or to type his questions. So Maximino, may I ask how long it took you to make your own drum set?
So I started in 2010, and I put everything working in 3 months. But when I started to play, something broke or something did not sound as I expected, and I start to make changes. And so I reached this one, but the most complicated part is the computer programming, because when I play the backing tracks, I had to when I play the electronic uh, backing tracks, electronic era backing track, I have to put the electronic Simmons nuances, Simmons sounds, that specific aestheticals of sound from that era. When I play James Brown rhythm, I I had to reach that tune, the Clyde Stumblefield tune, that uh, the recording techniques, the producers, the how the Motown, for example, the famous music producer, how they recorded drums and how my drums can sound like the original ones. It's not just using techniques, but sound like that drummer. If you visit my YouTube channel, I play YouTube recently. I play also Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I play Argentinian band using the kids sound that sounds like the original ones. This is my intention to be or near to original. And with this, the most difficult part is the computer programming for this.
Wow. It's just totally genius. So impressive. It's incredible. So Millie Chan in Japan asked you the question because she can see Japanese paintings and flags in your background. She asked a question, do you like Japan?
Yes, yes, I love Japan. My friends, my nicknames in school or my job and everything associated with Asia in general. Since my childhood, I don't know why people call me Zen Buddhist master or sensei or shifu or something in Bruce Lee or Karate Kid or something about Asia because I'm a little different from the Brazilians uh, sometimes. I do planes. I'm organized. I don't have all the stereotypes, Brazilian stereotypes. I have more Asian stereotypes, and yeah, I don't know why. And since then, I start to learn. I tried to learn Chinese before internet era, but I could not because Chinese has different accents, and if you miss an accent, you are talking other word. And I found Japanese easy. And for Brazilian Portuguese speaker, it's easy for us to how to pronounce Japanese. And I started to study Japanese with a dictionary, and I studied Japanese since 2006. And Japanese become my culture, my second culture. I have friends, I have a lot of musical influence from Japan, and I'm today I am insider of Japanese culture, and I can talk about this. My philosophy master writing was about the difference between the Occidental philosophy and the Asian or Oriental philosophy. We can schedule a quiz to talk about this. It's very interesting.
Great.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
and it's in to know Japanese, how to read Japanese helped me a lot to study this. And yes, I speak Japanese. We have two geishas right here, Japanese flag right here. We have a Pokeball right here, or I have more a lot of things. Every gift I received is from Japan. People, since my childhood, people give me Japanese or Chinese present gifts. It's so no, I born this way. This is the reason I use a Japanese soul guy in my nickname or my social media.
Yes. Guys in the ladies and gentlemen in the group, it's because like Max is such an amazing guy. I'm keeping on talking with him. So anytime you feel you want to drop off, please do, because we surpassed the 1 hour duration. But if you want to stay and continue to chat with Max, I'm gonna keep the Zoom room open until Wilma fixed your audio output. Wilma, can you try again? Okay, you actually not use just use your computer, not use the speaker. Does that work? Usually it was always working with Wilma. Today, that's something really, really strange. Oh. So, oh, Wilma, maybe if I ask you to unmute, can you unmute yourself? Because, yeah. Still not working.
I would love to hear.
Yes, we have to learn reading lips.
Yeah.
That's Joanna, have you got questions for Max? So, oh, I guess Wilma will try again to come back. People are dropping off. Yeah, and so why you never hire a teacher? How did you learn Japanese? Why never ask for external tutoring?
As I said at the beginning, Brazilians has not source. I have never had money to enter in a course, and you have to improvise. And thanks internet, because it opened my mind for a lot of different things. Because when I was a kid, it was hard to understand what I curious about. And with the internet, I start to search, and of course, I have focus in different areas. My main areas, philosophy, drums, and theology. But I can fix a motorcycle, for example, and so a lot of things you can learn through the internet. And Japanese, I studied Japanese in group of theater. I start to uh, I entered in a Japanese club, and the immigrants from Japan, and there has um, uh, a theater group, and I start to perform with them in Japanese. It's very curious because the group make presentations for the Japanese community in Brazil, and suddenly appear a black guy talking Japanese. It's very strange for them. But now as I said, I am an insider in their culture. It's very interesting because when I with them, I feel like one of them, more than Brazilians, when I do a barbecue in my house, for example. And it's like I'm part of their group. I feel like a part of their group, and they receive me pretty well. And so I'm feeling like a Japanese or Brazilian, so I can switch it in my benefit.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I guess that's it for today. And if you guys arrived earlier, the song I was playing together with the past event slides was recommended by Maximino called One for Nana. Maybe this can be the last to conclude our quiz today. Max, if you can tell us a little bit more about that particular song, One for Nana.
So One for Nana is amazing because Nana is a percussionist, a Brazilian percussionist. His name is Nana Vasconcelos. Nana does not speak in English, does not speak in any language, only Brazilian Portuguese. And for him, foreign language is like instrumental music. And when you speak in English, Japanese, or Russian in front of Nana, Nana start to count your accents, and he split your speaking in bars, in sessions, chorus, verses. It's a genius, and he did this music. This music has no speaking sense. It's like blah 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 blah, but with rhythmical meaning. This is how the mind of Nana works. Everything you will speak, when you speak, you have a rhythm, and every culture, every language has a specific rhythm and specific accents. And Nana start to make music using this. Nana also does not write music. He don't know how to does not know how to notate his playing, but he created this chimera, this unbelievable thing to hear people and make this speaking as a music. One more time, because for him, English or any language does not make sense. It's incredible. And One for Nana, it's about this. It's about speaking who does not, speaking, it does not mean nothing, but has a rhythmical meaning.
Yes. So it's almost like our language, Nana maybe doesn't understand the meaning of the language, but he's able to enjoy it as a music with its own pace and rhythm. That's the story behind the song, One for Nana.
Yeah.
This is absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Maximino, again. We hope to invite you back for a philosophy session next year. And everybody, sorry for postponing it, for delaying for 20 minutes, but this is just too amazing. Yeah, so see you then. Bye.